Hey everybody. I don't know why my camera just got really dark. But I just wanted to talk on camera for a minute cuz I kind of feel like Harley might be listening, but he's probably asleep. Anyway, I was just at my brother's house and I was hanging out and we were having a good time and all that crap. And then like right before I leave or whatever, I was informed that someone in my family who's not they're not related to me, but they're in Harley's family. Apparently they were talking to my cousin and they were saying all kinds of stuff about me and talking about how I don't remember now, but he's been talking about wanting a goth girlfriend and all this stuff, and I don't say anything because I'm not trying to like start an argument or bring anyone down or judge anyone, so I just leave it alone. And he was talking about wanting a goth girlfriend multiple times in front of Harley, so I know that maybe that has something to do with it or something. But anyway, and I'm guessing he brought it up around my cousin, and then my cousin was talking about me, and he just started talking all kinds of crap, saying how I'm not a real goth because I don't wear makeup all the time, like I don't paint my face, is the way he worded it, or that because I'm conservative. And he was talking all kinds of stuff about me, and he and my cousin was saying, well, she listens to goth music, and she knows about, like the history. Like I know it was a lot easier to talk in my head before I turn on the camera, but anyway. And I was listening to all this, and I'm getting very annoyed because this person has they used to have a girlfriend, and I know she had her own little e-girl thing going on or whatever, and I know that she didn't like me, and she talked about how I looked before, and when I did dress up, it was like, I don't know. Anyway, which was kind of rude because how are you gonna whisper about how I look and whisper about something to do with goth about me while I'm in the same room as you? Like, I can't hear you. But anyway, they're not even together anymore. And I noticed that after they broke up is when he wanted to start dyeing his hair black and wanted a goth girlfriend and all this stuff. I'm just like, how are you gonna talk to my cousin about me? And we're nice to each other, to our to each other's faces. How are you gonna be like talking this shit about me while, like, I thought we were cool? Last time we hung out, we just hung out, and I thought everything was cool. But anyway, the stupid thing about this is, like, is it because I'm not an e-girl? Is it because I'm not a TikTok goth? I don't dress up to prove some shit to someone all the time? Is that what it is? And I'm just tired of everyone having like these assumptions. He doesn't know anything that he's talking about. Like, he doesn't know he doesn't really know the history. He doesn't know about the subculture. He doesn't know about the nuance about punk and goth, which I've had to explain to other idiots, or I don't even bother explaining it anymore, but I'm gonna explain it, I guess, again. That just because you are punk, or just because you're goth, does not mean that you are claiming to be a punk, right? Because I've already explained that if you think about it, goth came from post-punk, which was after punk. It was moving away from punk, and it was experimenting. That was the whole point. That's why it's more romantic. It has all these other, like, gothic elements to it, and romanticism and all this, all this other these other influences and stuff. And punk was its own thing, and in a way, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but punk is dead for the most part. I hate to be that person, but if you like punk music, you like punk music. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, the punk that used to exist, like, back then doesn't exist anymore. And a lot of those punk bands became goth bands because they didn't want to be trapped in this, like, continuous, I don't know how to explain, like a trap, which is, I feel like a lot of people who are goth are in a trap. And this is why, even when I listened to goth music, I didn't know if I really wanted to, like, years ago, before I started dressing a certain way or calling myself anything. This is why I didn't know if I wanted to in the first place, because I knew that putting yourself into a group that's supposed to be about expression, it's gonna become limiting, because you try to do your own thing. You have your own influences and things you're trying to incorporate into your style and your look and your personality. Like I do try to do. I just don't always. I just, when I get on the camera, I get on the camera however I am. And lately, I'm pregnant. It was 105 degrees yesterday, or a couple days ago. It's been hot anyway. It's hot and humid in Georgia. I'm pregnant. I'm having ligament pain in my stomach. I don't feel like getting on fishnets and teasing my hair like I used to. And I'm sorry, I'm not putting on a show for you and proving to, how goth I am. I don't need to do that to listen to the music either. I don't get it, right? Like with any other subculture, a metalhead or anything like that, like you just listen to the music and it's not that fucking deep. But for some reason when you're goth, you have to dress up. I'm Hispanic as well. And maybe I'm not brown, but imagine saying you have to paint your face in order to be goth. But like, imagine if you have dark skin and you don't want to put on white face makeup. I don't think there's anything wrong if you want to put on white face makeup, regardless of what color you are, but not everybody wants to do that, and not everybody has the time to do that. I have ADHD. I don't have the time. I put all my time and effort into trying to keep my house clean and stuff like that. Like I can't even organize my life the way other people can. Why do you think that I have the motivation or time to put on a ton of makeup and do all this stuff just to sit at my house and clean? And imagine me cleaning in black. Like, you've never got, I mean, I'm just gonna end up with bleach stains all over my clothes. But anyway. But what I was saying, I know I'm all over the place, but the point is, like, so that's retarded. And then I'm saying, like, with punk or whatever, like, they can't understand, like, you might have your own influences that you're putting into the way you look. But because I don't look like a TikTok goth, and my eye makeup isn't perfectly, how they line their nose, and because I'm not dancing in my room wearing an ankh belt, that I'm not goth, because I'm a normal person and I choose to show that part of myself. Because a lot of these other goth YouTubers, they don't, especially if they're women, because for some reason there's an expectation that if you're a woman, you must need to do all this and dress a certain way and put on makeup. What about a lot of the men? Not all the men want to always wear makeup and they don't get judged. How come because I'm a girl I have to wear makeup? But anyway, he was just talking shit, and he only wants to start dyeing his hair now and have a goth girlfriend. By the way, I don't even know what he's going for, but because his girlfriend left him and he's been going through some kind of identity crisis. But I just find it like really stupid, and this is why I don't care about being called a goth anymore. Yeah, I will call you people out on your dumb assery, but I've never really cared. This is why I was like, do I want to do this? Like, I can just, because I feel like not labeling yourself or putting yourself into any kind of group, or it makes it easier for you to actually be an individual, which is funny because I thought this was about self-expression and all that bullshit. He doesn't know where my influences come from. He doesn't know. For instance, there's that teddy bear that I made, and I don't know if I should have showed you that, but it doesn't matter. But I made that. I like a lot of like doll related things and things like that, right? So even though I'm a tomboy, I do like a lot of doll related stuff and creepy cute, but not pink necessarily. But I like Victorian antique type gothic stuff as well. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm trying to give you an idea. I have all these influences. I love horror movies, and it's like he might not know why I'm doing something, but I know why I'm doing something. But just because I don't look like a stereotype, I'm not a real goth. And because I'm conservative, and I'm so tired of people saying that if you're conservative you can't be goth, especially if they don't know crap about it. You could tell he doesn't know anything. They're acting as if we're all the same, like we all believe these same exact things when we don't. And if anyone really knew anything about me, they would know that, like, in high school and stuff, I was in the weirdo group. I was the one that was in the group with all the gays and the mixed like mixed types of people, as well as like the weirdos, and as well as I was a floater. Like, even though I was a bit of a loner and I had my niche little group of a few girls that I hung out with, I was a floater. So, like, in school, I could hang out with the popular girls 1 minute and then hang out with the Mexican girls the next minute, and then I'll go sit over there with the black kids. You know what I mean? And the gays and all this. A lot of the people I knew were gay. I've been friends with older gay people as well. I know gay people now. They don't. But people act as if, like, I must just be like this hateful person because I call myself conservative. I said this so many times that if I didn't have this label, people wouldn't treat me so badly. I'm really not that bad of a person. I don't think I am. And a lot of people are only calling themselves conservative now because they have common sense ideas about things, or they've been exposed to ideas, and they're like, oh wow, I never thought about it that way before. That makes sense. And it's not even that they care so much about controlling other people or that they're even that traditional, because I'm traditional, but I did not grow up like in church all the time. And I went to church a few times, but it wasn't like that. It was a completely unique experience, especially if you grew up in the South. Just we were actually treated kind of badly, or like not badly, but we were treated kind of weird, like I've said in the past, because we didn't go all the time. We were like outsiders. We didn't grow up going to church, and we didn't grow up with like this sheltered life. Obviously, you've seen the artwork I've shared. I was like allowed to watch South Park. I was allowed to watch Family Guy and stuff when I was way too young to be watching it. Rocky Horror Picture Show, my grandpa showed that to me. And my grandpa is pretty based. And he'll say things that even I won't say. But I'm saying, you guys have like such a, you need to make us a stereotype, because you can't argue, and you can't hate someone and argue with this fake person because they don't exist. So you have to create that fake person to hate, because you don't even really hate me. You don't even know me. You don't know anything about me. And in fact, like I said, I don't care about being called goth. Only reason why I use it now is purely is because so you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. That's it. Funny enough, you guys can keep calling me poser and this asshole who is in my family and shouldn't be talking shit about me to my cousin. He's in my family, but he's Harley's family, but you shouldn't be talking crap about me, because I don't even care. I don't care about being some fucking stereotype for you or anyone. This is so tiresome. Like, you guys are lame as hell. Oh, punk. You're so punk. Anyway, these, like, the asshole talking about, you're not punk. I never said I was punk. Are you retarded? Are you stupid? Yes, I said R word. Because I'm gonna say stuff that if you don't want me to say it, I'm gonna say it. But anyway. Yeah, because he was harassing me, but anyway. About being called called a pick me and all this stuff. This is like, yeah, I'm the pick me because I have my own opinions, but not the women who want men in their restrooms and want men taking their places in sports. Like, yeah, I'm the pick me. Like, oh, because I don't like when women make things worse for other women by being misandrist and accusing men of all kinds of things that they didn't do. And believe all women, which is retarded. It's stupid. So, yeah, because I don't believe in all that stuff, I must be a pick-me. Not the women who are actually letting men stomp all over them. Because I don't let men step all over me. Biological men, by the way. Also, you guys say we're so homophobic and all this stuff. Not only do I have gay friends, and I've had gay friends in the past and all this stuff, but how am I so homophobic when a lot of these crazy ones, not all trans people obviously, but a lot of these crazy trans women, they're trying to go into, not only they're trying to infiltrate women's spaces, but that includes lesbian spaces, that includes lesbian bars and clubs and things like that. And dating apps, like, what are you doing on a lesbian dating app? You're not a lesbian. I don't know. It's just like two women, like consenting adults, do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, like, a lesbian is a woman who's attracted to other women, and just like a man may not want to do stuff with a biological man, even if they pass, women may not want, a lesbian may not want to do it with you. They're going out to these places and they're going on these apps to find another woman. But anyway, so none of the shit that they say makes any sense. I'm tired of everyone making caricatures of, oh, because I'm a conservative, I must think all these things that this other person said to me. I'm not that other person, whoever that is. I'm not Matt Walsh. I'm not Ben Shapiro. I'm not fucking Candace Owens. I'm not any of the other people. If anything, people that I follow and watch are mostly people who, they just have certain ideas about things, but they may not even be, I don't even think that they would be considered conservative. But there are certain things that I have beliefs about. They just happen to more align on that side. Right, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be on whatever side makes sense. I just thought that was bullshit. That was bullcrap. Like, I can just imagine that a lot of these people are like that. A lot of these, especially young people. And you know what it's called? It's called cultural capture. I've tried to talk to this. I kind of tried to talk to this about, like, with my friend. Anyway, I can't not speak. But anyway, I should have put it in the video, but I never write scripts really. But cultural capture is when someone, like a group of people with an ideological agenda, they move into a group, and they, like a cultural group. You know, that could be anything, but that includes subcultures. Not for the love of the thing itself, but for to push their agenda. And that's basically what these far left weirdos are doing. And you don't even have, and they have the fucking gall to act as if it's conservatives who are infiltrating, because conservatives go out there and they're like, hey, I'm allowed to do what I want to do. Because how are you going to stop someone from doing something anyway? But anyway, and yes, there's always going to be people within the group who will capitulate to those outsiders who are coming in and infiltrating it. When I became a goth, I did so with very careful consideration. I did not do it just to be like, oh, I like to look cool. Obviously, I did not jump into it the way people act like. And this guy should know this too, because I was listening to the music before I looked like any kind of way. And even before I knew him or Harley. So I'm just saying. But anyway. So it's been years before I even looked this way. But no, they think I jumped into it just because of how I look. Because people are visual creatures, I get that. But anyway. Yeah, but it's cultural capture. They get into the group, and then there's always going to be people that were there, you know, like older people who will be okay with it, either because of social pressure or something like that, or because they've been, you know, indoctrinated as well. Because, you know, the media has been lying to us forever. But then there's other elder goths out there that are pushing back against this, who you're supposed to listen to. I mean, to me, a lot of these young people are just, they are getting a lot of their information from other young people and other people who are very aggressively left-wing. And I say aggressive because they are aggressive. Like, you don't have to like me, and you don't have to think you can think I'm mean because I say bad words, but I'm not over here laughing at people when they pass away, when they get assassinated. I'm not laughing like they are. I'm not harassing people. I'm not, you know, I'm not even really telling anyone what to do. You know, I'm not, what else do they do? I'm not over here like angry looking all the time, like, you're not allowed to be conservative, you guys. So many people who agree with me just stop calling themselves conservative because of the label. Because so many people just cannot deal with the fact that you might call yourself something that isn't like anything right wing. If I mean, you can say maybe at one point they were way too way too close-minded, and I could even agree with you if you give me a specific example, if of a conservative being mean to you or being closed-minded, which people have given me examples, right? And I'd be like, well, that sucks. They're assholes. I've been barked at before. I've been told all kinds of things by many different types of people, even people who you would think would agree with me. So I get it. Like, just because I'm a conservative does not mean I'm a closed-minded asshole. And most of the reason why I don't change my label is because I don't owe anyone anything. I should be able to express myself. And yeah, I just don't want to capitulate, I guess, and bend over for these people. And because I believe in God, so there are a lot of things that I have conservative beliefs about. But see how I can be in the same room with another person who doesn't think exactly like me, and as long as they aren't aggressive to me, and that's the problem, really, is that a lot of them are. But if they weren't that way, and there's people who aren't, then usually we can get along, and usually we can have a laugh and talk to each other and be adults. But it doesn't seem like that's being taught on that side. What's being taught is laugh at people who pass away, like they did with that Lizzie. Was it fucking Lizzie Graham or whatever his fucking name was? I don't even know. And then Charlie Kirk, obviously, and people like that. Like, anytime someone dies on our side, they just laugh and they make fun of it like it's the funniest thing in the world. And so that's what their side is teaching. But I'm the bad guy because I said the R word, and I'm the bad guy because I say bad words, and I believe in biology, and I don't want men infiltrating my spaces. Now, like I've said before in the past, as far as bathroom goes, like if it was me, free pass, and you're not forcing yourself onto me, I usually wouldn't. I don't think I would care too much if you wanted to go into the women's bathroom, but I'm not the only one that's in the bathroom, and I respect other people's privacy, and I respect other people's comfort, like what they feel comfortable with. And and I don't know you. I don't, also, that goes the other way. Like, I've been inside of a men's bathroom before because I've had to clean a men's bathroom at an old job I had, and they looked really uncomfortable. And I was very uncomfortable being in there because for some reason they wanted me to do it while they were coming in and out. But the difference that no one wants to talk about is that in a men's bathroom, no one's really um no one's really like, what's it called? They're not really scared of me. Like, they're not threatened by me. That's the word. Whereas in a women's bathroom, it is very intimidating. Number one, you don't want to be called anything. You don't want to be called transphobic or anything. You got this giant dude in here. Sometimes they're like, don't even pass. Don't even respect how you feel about it in the first place. And yes, that's very aggressive. And I think it's creepy, and I think it's shitty behavior. And I think, again, you're only making things worse for your group, and just like women, when women are sexist as hell to men, how am I pick me because I don't say crappy things about men, and I don't believe all women just because they make an accusation against a man? How, when you're making things worse for us? You can get mad all you want about how some people on the far, I guess you could say the actual far right, but I don't know, like the manosphere type people, which, by the way, they're right about a lot of things, but they're not. I don't believe that they should take women's right to vote away, but some of them believe that. And the reason why you want to say, oh, see, they're so sexist. No, they're like that now. I remember way back in like 2016 and stuff, no one was saying that. They're saying that now because they've had enough. They think, oh, there's no saving us. There's no saving these fucking women. And I'm like, shut up. You're making it worse for us. You're making it worse, women. And I'm not gonna stand by when anyone makes a false accusation against anyone, or when women throw out the PDF accusation at men just because they don't like their politics, saying, well, they also like women without, hair down there. How is that pet? How is that PDF? I almost said the word, but how is that PDF? I've seen women say that so many times. How is that liberal women? Conservative men also like when women shave down there. So by that logic, if you shave your legs, you must be a PDF. It's stupid. And it's just, they have the shittiest opinions about everything. Anyway. So yeah, I know I'm getting into like other things, but I just find it so stupid. It lacks such nuance. It lacks the nuance. Well, you can't be goth because goth came from punk. I didn't know punk was like telling everyone what to do and sucking the government's dick. I didn't know that. I said another bad word. I didn't know that. Oh, also, I'm sure a lot of people back then they had different opinions about different things, but as well, that's what I mean. They're rewriting history, but also, what about anarchy? Like I didn't know that being a far left commie was punk. You could say it's not conservative, but like, it's definitely not being a commie either. It's definitely not being a socialist. I mean, have your beliefs. Just the problem when you start to try and tell other people what to do is that now you have to defend your ideas, and you can't. So that guy, like I said, a guy who's fucking leaving comments and like tagging me in his live stream and all this stupid shit, and commenting on a video that had my 4-year-old in it that was not even political. All he could do was just repeat over and over again how I'm a bootlegger, how I'm not anti-establishment, how I'm a pick-me, how conservative and punk are oxymorons. I never said I was a punk. I'm a goth. They're still separate subcultures, by the way. There's a lot more than just that tiny period of time, right? Right? But anyway. And I didn't even, and by the way, while I'm still here, I know it's a long video. I'm sorry, I'm covering my microphone. While I'm still here, yes, I've experimented with different types of topics and videos and stuff. But when I came back initially, I just wanted to make a innocent little video of me showing off some vintage Halloween sweaters. It was only after that asshole that I said, well, why am I even trying to hide what I think? Why don't I just go all in? And I was like, why don't I just say what I think? And so I did that. And then, what was it? I edited one video. It was edited pretty well, actually. And I had like receipts and everything for the behavior I was talking about, right? The points I was making. And then the second video about Carmelo Anthony, I didn't really edit it that well and stuff. This asshole chooses to take the one video that I didn't edit that much and then put it out there like it was some big ass gotcha or whatever. When I'm not the one defending a murderer, but anyway. Again, they can't take nuance. They cannot understand nuance at all. Like, I never even said that it's okay to go out and call people names and do all this stuff. I was just talking about, why should I care when it's this kid, I mean, I don't care if it's this kid. I don't care if you call people who hurt other people or kill other people. I don't care about them being called names. Especially when the dad went out of his way to try, and so many times he went out there to go pray with him. He said he didn't want it to be racial at first. But they couldn't have that because they needed their little press conference to be closed off, because they couldn't have him come in and looking like a good person, because then that would go against their narrative. How are they going to act like they're the damn victims, by the way, as if their kid was the one that was taken away? But anyway, and so I'm trying to remember the timeline. So I made that sweater video, and this guy kind of made me think, well, why am I even trying to make these these wholesome videos when people hate me anyway. And so I'll put these videos out. And then I like unlisted them because sometimes I'll do that because I'll just be second guessing about it. And it didn't reach a lot of people anyway. I was experimenting too. And so I just unlisted them. That doesn't mean that I didn't delete them. They were unlisted. And then what happened was he takes it and he tries to tag me in it and all this kind of stuff just because I tried blocking him and I tried hiding it from my channel, tried doing all this stuff just to get this guy to leave me alone. And that's the only way he could get to talk to me still, because the way he was typing was, "We're discussing your video in our live stream." And a smiley face. And it's funny too because he made fun of my audio in my sweater video, but his audio was like loud noise and I could barely understand what they were saying. The most coherent part of it was me talking, but anyway. So that was retarded. He made fun of, I said the R word so many times. Anyway, he was making fun of me, but his audio sounded like that. But anyway. And so I put my video back up in public and was like, I don't regret anything I said. And I left both videos up for a day. And then I took them back down because I'm like, I don't even want to do this. I wanted to come back and make videos about like cute stuff, wholesome stuff. I don't even know where, like I said, I don't even know where I'm going. You know, I just kind of like showing certain things. And I'm recently right now I'm editing a video for like an art video. And this is why I'm thinking maybe I should just make a whole new channel. But I don't want to lose the people who are true to me, who like me and accept me for who I am. Because then even if I did have a whole other audience in that area, I don't want people who are just going to be like, oh look, I found out that this chick is this way and she thinks all this stuff and bombshell. And you know, I don't know, I just feel like I want to get away from that and I want to get away from crazy people. But at the same time, I can't stop thinking and stop speaking my mind. And I have so many interests and so many things that I can't keep up. I can't stick to one topic. I've already said this before. And I think that's why I thrive, or where I thrive, is being chaotic. But at the same time, you can't be that way on social media. You have to keep making like the same kind of content, right? And it's never bothered me at all that I don't have that many subscribers. That's not really why. I really don't want to have people who are just watching me for politics, and I don't want people who are just watching me just for art. But I'm thinking maybe I'll just start doing art videos because I wanted to show how I made that guy, and also some gothic decor that is cheap, that I've made, and things like that. I have all kinds of different ideas of like art, and I feel like that's actually where I can continuously make new ideas come up with new ideas of things to do. So if you're interested in that, I'm still editing a video about that. So I'm just trying to explain the situation to you. I don't know. So yeah, I don't think that anyone 100% gets me. Even people who are friends with me or know me personally, I don't think that they really understand at all. And how you can be nice to my face and talk crap about me, that's bullshit. When you're only doing all this extra shit because your girlfriend left you, come on. And I really do think it's just jealousy at this point. And I hate to be that person because I don't like saying that people are jealous of me, because I hate taking compliments and things like that when people do give me compliments. But sometimes I'm just like, why back and forth between liking me and not liking me? Like, the only thing I can think is like, you're jealous, and for everybody else, you're just crazy. You're just crazy. You want to take it out on somebody, so you choose me because, oh, here's someone with a few followers that you can be mean to and, you know, try and hurt my feelings. You're just a weirdo. Like, commenting on a non-political video that has my 4-year-old in it. Like, a grown-ass 40-year-old man with a neckbeard. Like, that's, like, obviously trying to intimidate somebody. So, anyway, that's the bullshit that I have to deal with. And that's why I'm like, I should probably just make a new channel. And if maybe I'll just do that, and then I'll make a post or a video being like, hey, here's my new channel. Anyone who wants to follow it, who likes art and stuff like that, why don't you follow it? Because I'm tired of these people, and I'm tired of this bullshit. They're never gonna understand. They're never gonna care until they ruin it. They're gonna ruin the gossip culture if they haven't already. And then you're gonna get reactionary people on the opposite side who are also dumb. And I just don't want to be a part of in the middle of it, because I don't know. How you gonna call yourself a place for people to express themselves and then get mad when anyone does? It's just dumb. It's a lot of 20 somethings who, like 19-year-olds, 20 something, who see people on TikTok dancing around with the ankh belt on and their perfect makeup and think that's what goth is, right? If you don't look like that, if you don't think this way, and if you're not a crazy liberal, then you must not be goth. It's just stupid, because half these people don't even have any logic. They just say things because it's like the popular thing to think, which is ironic as hell. Ironic, because you're doing the popular thing. The popular thing might have a new look now, but it's just the same thing it's always been, doing stuff for approval. And like that study that showed that, how they did that, I can't remember what it's called now, but I used to know. But basically, I think it was like the 70s or 80s, they did a study where they had one person in the group who was not in on it, and everybody else in the group made them think. They were told questions, like asked questions, and everybody else would give the wrong answer. And for the test subject, I guess, they were going to see whether he would go along with it because everybody else did, or if he would speak out and say, no, that's not right, And they found that it only took like at least one or two people to influence that person to be okay with speaking their mind. A lot of people will only agree with something because somebody else, or because the majority, or at least what it seems to be the majority of people agree with it. And I've been around people who don't really seem to have their own opinions. They flip-flop depending on the person they're around. And I'm not that kind of person. And I hoped that if I was to speak my mind and say things and explain myself, that maybe it would influence at least one person to see that, I guess, to see that a lot of these people they're just saying things to be a part of a group. And what's funny is they're just as, if not more, mean and what's the word? They're just as mean and vicious as the preppy kids were, They're just wearing a new uniform. But look it up, ideological capture. But not ideological capture, but specifically cultural capture or entryism. Look that up. Look it up what it is, and it'll make a lot of sense. They want to infiltrate all these different groups and subcultures and places and media, music, art, what's it called, like film. They want to infiltrate all these things to influence the public. It's not because they really care about being goth. That's why a lot of these people, it's like to them it's simultaneous, politics and goth. They can't be a part of something without it being political. And the only reason why I'm talking about it is because there's got to be somebody who's pushing back. But no, I'm the problem because I'm being political now. How else are we supposed to combat this shit? I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, look it up. And yeah, I'm just ranting, but look that up and bye bye.